The Pathetic History of Sir Wilful Wildrake, dedicated to R.T.H.O.N. Reinhard Kleiner. Gentlemen. In elder days, when Ruddish rips were always pardoned for their slips, when Charles, as if to set the pace, with doxies swelled our British race, there lived a rake of antient name, whose sires had known martial fame, but who, indifferent to the sword, fought softer fights, and gaily whored. This brat of rampant squire begot was sure designed for lecher's lot. At birth he had a roving eye that winked at wenches passing by, and ere he could in speech converse, he got a bastard on his nurse. When 10 the boy had known with pride each trollop of the countryside, and passed so ably did he whore 'em, the old just trium librorum. His father, liking not to see so swift a growth of peasantry, are yet a rival quite so bold as he, ere long the little satire sent to travel on the continent. But many a tale his tutor told that proved the stripling still more bold. He charmed the easy Gallic jades and bitches, female dogs, of Italia's shades. God help us all if years ahead our sons must fight the troops he bred. Myself, I think it downright treason to wench abroad in any season. But in due time, young Wildrake came back to our isle to vaunt his fame, and gained the prize our king designed for merit of a gallant kind. Behold him now at every ball that frets the peace of Windsor Hall, a macaroni of renown with every baggage of the town, bold with the trolls and quick to boast of victories over each reigning toast, nor slow to hint he hath been rash with Lady Blank, our Countess Dash. One idle day a nymph he knew proved pleasing to the royal view, whereat our crafty riggish imp to serve his fortune turned a pimp. The fray was won, the maiden blighted, and will to pay his virtue knighted. I need but add the drab was made a duchess grand in red brocade, whenever some pious fool would snivel that such damned raking pleased the devil. Our love-locked goat would wink in scorn, and vow that he for this was born. For sure the only joy he knew was of the Cyprian and the stew, whilst he would rather far be dead than out of some loose mopsy's bed. Of husband's will was much in awe, and smiled the more the less he saw. But Cupid oft would craft provide, so Wildrake early learned to hide. Now all went well till one sad day, Will's nose beamed out with redder ray, and powdered leeches cried that sure he must depart to take the cure. Not once but often did they force the rake-hell blade to change his course, yet spite of all the poor wretch grows, pained, poxed, and putrid with his woes. The years as well their tribute claim, they seem his face, and bend his fame, till ere his mind his state can see, he finds no joy in venerie. The ladies flee as he draws near, and every strumpet cost him dear. And what is worse, each body fling no spark of pleasure now can bring, bred up to live on lust alone, a courtier by Priapus's throne. He sees ahead of weary waste, whose bliss he never learned to taste. Alas, he whines, had I but thought of what vast ills by love are wrought, had I but trained my mind to glimpse some goal above my horrors and pimps. 50 and feeble I must crave, and ogle vanity to my grave, whilst even then, if crones ere not, my itching ghost will haunt the spot But one last joy our Wildrake learns, while in poxed old age he burns. For though the flame of love be low, in godliness new beauties grow. The rake, his genial ardor spent, turns pious, proud, and penitent, dons sober grey, tries church each week, to doze or hear the parson speak. Too old to horror, the rip goes chaste, and damns the bliss he once embraced. Revolved to wed, he seeks a maid, of age and cancress unafraid. An ugly chit, though young and sound, and bred on her ancestral ground, are saved for errors with a groom devoid of Dian's virgin bloom. With this sweet nymph the rake essays, in rustic peace, to end his days, trades bawdry for a patriot's fire, and turns a stolid country squire. 3 infant forms the household bless, entrancing in their loveliness, an idiot girl, a weakling boy, and one small saint, the mother's joy, whose groom-like looks his lover's sire annoy. So ends poor Will, whom parents praise for prudish tongue and virtuous ways, first to reprove a liquorish air, and first to stone the erring fair. 'Tis he that rails with righteous zest at modern nymphs in style undressed, with shrieking petticoat and naked breast, his merits all the country fill. And heirs adorn him for his will. No one aloud can think with ease that death so good a man will seize. Nay, cuckolded by doltish wife, the hypocrite concludes his life. Once hot for Cupid's pleasures only, he pines still rotten, lewd, and lonely. It isn't that pleasures should not be. Don't be a pig. Or a rooster. But consider what is really best for thee.